To a medium-sized mixing bowl, we are going to add in 2 cups of all-purpose flour and 1 teaspoon of baking powder and a half teaspoon of salt. We're just going to whisk that up and we'll set this aside. So you probably didn't notice the sleight of hands, but I did change my bowls. I put the flour in the smaller bowl. All right, so in our larger medium-sized bowl, we're going to take our milk, and this is what do we got here? Half a cup of milk, and I did warm this to about 100 degrees. I have some herbs. This is just rosemary and thyme, just about, I don't know, a teaspoon or so, and I did break that up. I want this in my liquid so it can do its thing in there. We've got 1/4 of a cup of yogurt, and you want to use Greek full fat yogurt. You don't want it to be flavored with vanilla or anything. Then we've got a teaspoon of cane sugar. Yes, we are using sugar in here. That's a small amount. This was about 5 cloves of garlic that I just ground up, mushed up, minced, I should say. We're just going to add that in. And I've got 3/4 of a cup of active starter and sourdough starter. You can use discard. You don't have to have active, but I do want this to go quicker in my day, so I am using active. If you were to use regular discard that's not inactive, then you would just let this ferment or rise a little bit longer. So this is going to take me until about 5 or 6 this evening. It is about noon now, so I'm going to let this sit for quite a while. I'm going to get this all whisked together. All this wet ingredient, we want this all mingled together, kind of smooth, and then we're going to add our flour in. I can smell the herbs and the sourdough. Very, very lovely. All right, let's take our dry ingredients and we are going to put those right into our wet ingredients. And you want a clean work surface because we are going to incorporate, or we are going to mix this or kind of knead it for about a minute onto a clean work surface. Now, when I looked up this recipe, I realized that I want my naan bread to be more crispy when I fry it. But I can always add a little bit of flour to this if I think it's too wet. And we're just going to get this all incorporated. We're not doing hardly any kneading. We're just going to scrape that flour off the bottom. Get it incorporated as best we can. Still have a little bit of flour hanging around, which is good. Maybe I won't have to add any more. Okay, so I'm just going to knead this together for like a minute. Kind of just squish it all together until it comes together and it's not too sticky. I want your dough to be mostly smooth when it's done mixing. And because I feel it sticking a little bit, I am going to grab out some more of the flour and get that on here. Oh, and I can see the pieces of herbs in there. I thought, what is that stuff in there? Kind of looks gray. All right, let's get some more flour on here. I'm gonna have to clean my hands. And I'll just sprinkle a little bit on there, a little bit more, until it doesn't feel so sticky. There, that's much better. A little bit of kneading yet here, and it is not sticky anymore, so that little bit helped. Okay, and then we're going to put this in a bowl that is lightly greased. I just used a paper that butter comes in, and I just I always save my butter wrappers after I'm done using it and put that in the freezer so I can always use it to butter or grease my dish or pan, whatever is needed. So we're going to get this together into a nice ball. And put it in our lightly greased dish. And now we're just going to let this sit. Now you could cover this with a tea towel or plastic wrap. I have a little bowl cover here, so we're just going to let this sit. And I'm going to let this sit out in a warm environment, but not directly near heat source, for a good 5-6 hours. I want this to rise. For the amount of rise that you want, you're going to take a mental picture of what you have here, and you're going to want to have this double in size. Our dough has risen in size. We're going to take it out. I'm going to put it on the counter, and I'm going to put a little bit of flour down on the surface. You want a clean surface for your dough. And it does feel sticky. So we'll see how this is going to work for us. I'm going to sprinkle some flour on top. I'm going to go ahead and cut it into, approximately 8 pieces. And just adding that little bit of flour on there does help. Alright, so we're going to take our pieces that we cut, we're just going to tuck them under each other, under itself. Then we're going to stretch the top of the dough. And I have to get a pan to put these on. Actually, we're going to get a plate to put these on. I'm just going to sprinkle a little flour on top of it. And we'll take this first one here, and we're going to get our rolling pin floured, and we're just going to roll it out to about 1/16 of an inch. And if it seems to be sticky, just put some more flour on there. Don't be afraid of it. Alright, and when we get this one done, we're just going to set it on the plate for the time being. And we want to make sure that we have enough flour on the bottom here. So I'm gonna redo this. Alright, and I'm going to put a little flour on here. Alright, I'm going to set these on the plate. And we're going to continue to do that with the rest of them. Kind of stretching this and tucking it underneath. A little bit of flour. And roll. So we're going to do that to all of these 8 pieces, and then we'll take them over to the stove. We've got a cast iron skillet sitting there, and my cast iron is seasoned. If yours is not seasoned, you probably want to take a paper towel and just put a little oil on there and rub it on the pan. I probably could have done this into 6 pieces because these are kind of small, but I'm not really too concerned about it. And as you can see, I'm not too worried about the shape of these because it really doesn't matter at this point. All right, we've got these all rolled out. There's a few here, and there's enough flour on there so that they're not sticking to each other. If, as I go, I need to flatten these again and roll them out to be thin again, I will do that. I've got my pan heating up on the stove right now. I've got the heat on pretty much high, and we're getting this nice and hot because we're just gonna put our bread on there and start frying it. All right, we got our bread here, our dough, and we're just gonna plop it down onto the pan, and we're waiting for it to bubble up on this side, and it is gonna get browned on the other side. So this takes about 1.5 minutes, and then we'll flip it over. And you can kind of see that on the very ends, the bread is starting to bubble. We're going to let that bubble up nice, and I'll keep you right alongside me. So we want the nice big bubbles on that, and then we will flip it. Got a little bit of flour here. I'm just going to remove. Okay, they definitely are building. And the edges, you can see, are cooking. And they are growing some more. I'm going to take a peek underneath. It is not brown. It's still white. So I want it to brown on the back side before I even go ahead and flip it. And they're getting nice and puffy here, you can see. Hopefully you can see that. And you just want to peek underneath and check them every now and then. Make sure that they are browning a little bit longer. And you can move them. They're free from the pan. They're not stuck. Yes, it takes a few minutes, but we'll get there. I'm going to flip it just for flipping's sake. And you can see the other side does have some browning on it. I would like this to get done more, so I'm going to flip it back over. I'm going to flatten it a little bit. Now, what are some of the things you could do with naan bread? Well, once these are cooked, you can just melt some butter and put that over the top and eat it just like that. You could put some meat in there and make a sandwich with it. You can do whatever you want. I like to make pizza with my naan bread, and just knowing that it's homemade, that I made it, and I know what ingredients is in there, that really trips my trigger. I really enjoy doing that. I enjoy cooking. I never used to enjoy cooking. I would open up a can of vegetables, maybe some instant rice or instant potatoes, and some meat, and that would be the meal that I would make for my children. I wish I'd have known about, or had taken the time to learn about cooking from scratch and feeding my children good quality nutrients. And I thought I was doing a good job, but knowing that I could have done better, it's a little sad, but it is what it is. It was my path. It's what I had to follow. And here I am, changing it up. And there's nothing wrong with that. We are continually growing and learning as we go. All right, that's about it for this one, and we'll continue with the rest. You can see how it puffs up so nice. The longer I leave it on, the more puffier it gets. And that's what you want. You want the air to fill up in there, and you want it to cook all the way through, because you really don't want to eat doughy naan bread. So because there's flour on the naan bread, you can see there's this browned flour. And just push that aside and just let it cook. Use a scraper, if you're using a cast iron pan, use a metal scraper or a spatula and get that off of there and push it to the side. You can see this is bubbling up nice. I'm going to make sure that it bubbles all the way in the center too, because I want it to be more cooked thoroughly. Some of these other ones I did have to put back on the heat and give them another try, but you'll see how it's puffing up. That's what we want. Pretty much all over. I'm just going to move it around a little bit. Get a little bit more even heat. And continue on. And you can see that one got nice and browned on the bottom. I did turn my heat down a little bit because as it continues, the pan does get quite hot. So you can start out high, and by the time you're about halfway through, you're going to want to turn it down a little bit. And you can see my bread did get tucked in under here. So like I said, when you've got your when you've got your dough laying out, sprinkle some flour on it so that it doesn't stick to the other pieces. And that's where I had a little bit of a problem, but it all works out. So I should also mention that it took about 5 hours for my dough to double in size in a room that was about 71, 72 degrees. So that's for doing it with using sourdough. It does take a while longer. If you were to make the yeast variety using yeast, active yeast, or instant yeast, that does go a little bit quicker, so you can do it either way. I can really smell the sourness of the sourdough in this one. It's kind of interesting. Just look at that, puff right up. Like a big old pillow. We need to flip that over. And here we are. You can see these are all done. And I went ahead and melted some butter a little bit. Ooh, that's hot. And I added some garlic to that. We're just going to brush that on one of these and give it a taste. I've not made naan bread with sourdough before. I have made it with the yeast, and I really like it. So let's give this a taste. I really smell that garlic. It's a warm day in the kitchen today. So here's our naan bread with our butter and garlic on. Let's give it a taste. Tastes like flour and water with some garlic. It is a little chewy. I do prefer these to be more crisp, but they're still good. I think these would just be good with maybe some hummus. Put that on there. Maybe throw a piece of cheese in there and warm it up. So many things you can do with it. Well, I hope you give some naan sourdough bread a try and see for yourself what you think. Thanks for watching.